OG Lee in the house once again, once again. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Do you think vaping is unhealthy? I know you know what vaping is. Like most things that we inhale, you're taking a chance. At this point, there's not enough research available for anyone to tell you that vaping is not hazardous. Inhaling that much smoke into one's lungs cannot be healthy. I don't care what anybody says. It used to be that people have always smoked, but it wasn't until I would say like the '60s that you really start seeing ads directed at cigarette smoking. And I remember Winston. Their ad was saying Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. And so this enticed a lot of people to smoke. And when you looked at Marlboro had a cowboy basically as its spokesperson or whatever. And you always had him wrangling a horse or something like that and having a cigarette, poked out of one side of his mouth. And so it was really giving you the impression like that smoking was a manly thing to do. And for a while there wasn't cigarette ads or even cigarettes directed at women, although we know, of course, women did always smoke. But in the early stages, yeah, they just really painted cigarette smoking as something that was about pleasure. And at that point, it was early on. So cigarettes basically were in their infancy stages as far as any kind of research. And so it wasn't until 70s and 80s that they started realizing that people were contracting cancer. And then, of course, they came in with the Surgeon General label that was put on the side. Now, to black people, cigarettes were marketed as being cool, because in the 70s, the black culture for the black man especially was all about being cool. So they said, well, if these niggas want to be cool, we're going to give them a cigarette named Cool. And then, of course, Newport also was one that was marketed to black people. And both of these were menthol. And so not knowing anything about cancer at that point, there was also menthol that was introduced into cigarettes. And so this was just a way to market cigarettes to people. I can remember seeing, now this is after the Surgeon General warning was put on the cigarettes. And of course, you know what the Surgeon General warning reads, right? Take a look at it. Now, look at an ad that tells you that Newport, and this is one that is directed at black people, and it has as you can see, a man and his girlfriend or his woman, and she's got a football in her hand. And so this is funny because it suggests that, and of course the caption says pleasure, and here's a football. Then under that, this the Surgeon General's warning that talks about cigarette smoke perhaps being very hazardous to your lungs, right? But yet there's a picture of a football. So if you're a thinking person, the first thing you would have to think is, how in the hell does a product doing damage to your lungs go together with a football and pleasure? You know what I'm saying? So you have to be asking yourself, what are these people doing to me? And moreover, if I see that they've done this to me, in terms of cigarettes, and this is after they know that they're hazardous. Look how they're marketing them to me. So don't you think that vaping could be dangerous, and that people would say, well, you just take your chances because we're out here trying to make money. See? So you have to really think about that, because people don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. And I've been saying this over and over again. Here they are, marketing something to black people as being about pleasure, and marketing something to talk about being cool, yet at the same time they know that it could possibly kill you. And so, to me, that should be very alarming when you think about, what the potential for vaping could be. If you enjoy it, do it. We don't know what we're going to die of. But inhaling that much smoke in your lungs on a regular basis, it can't be healthy. You make the decision. It's your lungs. This is OG Lee, and I'll see you again soon.